Hello, this is Alba Gomez and welcome to Amplify the podcast. I am incredibly passionate about helping men and women amplify who they are and how they show up in the world. Let's have a conversation about how you can amplify your confidence and presence so you get the results you want in your business and career. Welcome to Amplify episode number 1. I couldn't be more excited to be here today, sharing with you all what is Amplify all about. But before I started, I wanted to share with you a little bit of a story as to how I got to start the podcast. I got a friend asking me, it was a few weeks ago, probably 4 or 5 weeks ago, Albi, why don't you start a podcast? And we started talking about that. Then on the same week, I had one of my good friends in America asking me the same question. Then I started seeing podcasts that were interesting online and all these things started happening. And I thought, okay, there is a sign here. And just to make a confession, I went into my computer and I actually checked the day in which I bought the microphone and the equipment to do these podcasts. And that was 3 years ago. Couldn't believe it. I'm like, okay, I just been second guessing myself for 3 years in a row now. I think it's about time I get things moving. And I actually did a photo shoot 2 years ago using the microphone. And when I did the last photo shoot in November, I took a couple of photos and there was one that I actually particularly liked that I thought in this photo, I think I look as if I had something of value to say. I might use this for a podcast one day. And guess what is the cover of the Amplify podcast today? So anyway, I just really wanted to share that just because I know we can go through life postponing and putting on the backside or procrastinating things that we really wanted to do. And I've always been very opinionated. I always been very dedicated to teaching and helping and sharing the knowledge that I have learned in the past, 44 years of life, but also most importantly, in the last 15 years since I've been running my business, how I dedicated my life to really inspire and help others to transform theirs. And I thought a podcast, English being my second language and speaking being one of my one of my biggest strengths, I keep thinking, why am I delaying of doing this? So anyway, that's why I am here today, finally starting, and I wanted to share with you what is Amplify about. So we're gonna be talking, Amplify is all about how you amplify who you are and how you show up in the world every day. What I mean by that is how can you amplify who you are, how we amplify your mindset, your confidence, your visibility, your presence, and how you communicate who you are in the world. So by amplifying who you are just gonna start getting more of the things you either want in your life, in your business, or career. Everything I speak about applies to your personal life and your career or business. Are very basic yet profound concepts of how can we start making the most out of who we are and how can we start feeling more confident within our own skin, our own abilities, and the moment we are at in life. And one of the things that gets me really passionate, even though it sounds a little bit cheesy, is about helping you remember that you are an incredible human being capable of whatever you set your mind into. And I don't know if you have heard this saying before, but whatever you teach, you need. And one of the reasons why I teach and share a lot of these messages because it's one of the things that in my own personal story has been one of my biggest weaknesses. So for those of you who don't know me, I wanted to share a little bit about my personal story so you also know how I got here today to be sharing this message. So growing up, I am from Colombia. Growing up as a little girl, I was always very insecure, I felt always very lost, that I couldn't fit in. I have always had a very extroverted personality, but I've always been shy. I had a very interesting relationship with humanity and with the world, and I always felt that those two parts of me were in a constant battle. I didn't feel I had a voice. I always felt, people around me during my childhood just suppress a lot my opinion, what I had to say. I was surrounded by a lot of masculine energy that didn't allow me just to flow and be. So that really made it for me to be feeling always out of place. On top of that, I had the funniest looks ever. I had thickest of the glasses, braces, extra skinny, messy hair. So I was made fun of my looks. So I always felt so out of place and so insecure and so in a state of disliking what I saw in the mirror, disliking my insecurities and what I liked. And that's why I always had these battles. So I never show up as the real person I was. I always edited or actually just shut down what I had to say or what I thought. And I never show up with the passion and the energy that are actually one of the biggest, most strong innate, I think, strengths now that I have. So that's why this is so close to my heart, and I am so passionate about sharing this message because it is actually the journey that I have been on my own in my own personal story. So I always felt that my life was gonna be wasted because I always felt this deep depression and this sense of being lost. So instead of making myself big, I minimized who I was and I hid under other people, under not saying ever what I wanted to say or just literally wanting to go invisible and not being noticed by anybody, so I was not gonna get in trouble. Even the school that I went to, I kept getting in trouble because even though I was so well behaved, I could not shut up. So I spent my first year at primary school, most of the year facing the wall with my hands up because my teacher couldn't make me stop talking. So that's what I did. They would sit me at mass. I grew up strict Catholic, so I went to a Catholic school. They sit me at mass with a nun. So I couldn't talk. We even get chatting with the nun, and we a couple of times got kicked out together out of mass. So I was always a little bit hyperactive, a big full of life kid that can be suppressed and being told that who she was not good enough. So it was at a very early age that I decided that I needed to find something to help me fix all the things that were wrong with me. And that led me into a more spiritual path in which I started at a very, very early age looking into meditation, into Reiki, reading books of personal development, understanding the brain, reading things about emotional intelligence and neuroscience, and I grew up doing that. But on the other side, I also found that applying my makeup and choosing my clothes in a specific way made me feel so confident. So I was putting on this mask as I became a teenager and a young adult of this mask when looking perfect was a must. At uni, all of my friends will make fun of me because 6 a.m. class in the morning and I will be full on, hair done, perfect makeup, nails, everything had to be so perfect because I thought if I wasn't looking perfect of the outside, people was gonna find out how broken I was inside. So I lived my life with that, with knowing that my external image was helping me in a way, but that there was something deeper that I needed to change. So that's why I kept looking through many other things that were more deep into really understanding how can I make me feel better? How can I make me feel worth of belonging in this world? So then I grew up completing my degree as an engineer, as my two sisters were, and then I got a job as an engineer, but I always had this passion on the side when I was always studying things that were more spiritual, things that were more looking a bigger meaning on life. And even though, as I mentioned before, I grew Catholic, I always had this deeper sense of spirituality that religion wasn't exactly fixing inside of me. So I went on to graduate as an engineer, work as an engineer, then moved to Australia, work as an engineer in Australia. And then one day I realized that no, that's not what I wanted to do. And I started my own business. So when I started my own business, I started working as an image consultant, helping other women. I work with men as well, but my passion was helping other women feel beautiful, feel confident. So I was helping them change the way they were looking to feel more authentic, more real, and to show up in the outside how capable they were on the inside. Not long took me to realize that I was doing with them exactly what I did with me. I was helping them to create a mask, but the change needed to start at a deeper level. And as I was helping these women learn how to do the makeup, show beautiful clothes that make them feel beautiful and look beautiful no matter the age, the weight, the height, I started realizing that inside our confidence needed to change, our self-image needed to change. And that's how I started amplifying my scope, and I started going deeper and deeper into the work I did. And that's how I landed into working today with my framework that is called Amplified Influence Method, hence the Amplified podcast, because this is all about helping you as an individual hone in and reconnect with the essence of what makes you you, with the strengths and weaknesses, accepting who you are, what makes you special, what makes you different, what are your weaknesses, and from that place learning all the tools so you can go and show up in the world every day with how you breathe, with how you talk, with how you dress, with how you use your body language, with how you enhance your presence, so you can bring an energy that is real, that is authentic, that shows the world who you truly are. So Amplify is all about helping you enhance use who you are so you can show up in life and achieve the results you desire. Either if it's a promotion, an increase in your salary, a new profession, more clients, more success, but all that comes from a place in which you reconnect with who you are to a deeper level when you are able to live your life with passion. So the topics we're going to be talking about are going to vary from spirituality to science, which I'm very, very passionate about. And with my engineering background, I have a very, very systematic and logic brain. But at the same time, I've learned that we need to tap a lot into our soul, into our heart to be able to achieve the results you want. So I could not be more excited to be here today, having done my first podcast episode, and I cannot wait to have you here at the next one where we're going to start sharing more tips, more tools. I am all about being practical, implementing things. I'm going to have a guest a month. That's how we're going to start for now. The other 3 podcasts a month is going to be me sharing a topic and some tips and tools. And for today, I want to leave you with a quote that I absolutely love. And it says, if you're interested, you will do what is convenient. But if you are committed, you will do whatever it takes. So that's what Amplify is going to be all about, helping you, going from just being interested in being better at some things, at achieving more things in your life, to getting you to be committed to do whatever it takes to amplify who you are and how you show up in the world. I'll see you soon. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Amplify. If you have enjoyed it, make sure you subscribe. Also, I will love it if you leave us a review. See you for the next episode. Bye-bye.